Hello, VHO. Welcome to Beketov's CoDCast number 58. We took a bit of a break last week. I know I've been doing that a lot, but I was planning on recording, and then he's double on my coughing. I got sick last week, so I wound up just doing a graphic instead. But we are back. I am healthy-ish. So we're back at Infinite Warfare, still trying to get that camo grind done. I am down to needing just the, I have, God, how much do I have left? One classic sniper, which I haven't unlocked yet, so I can't do that until I unlock it. And then, one classic pistol and two normal pistols. That's how much I have left. So I'm getting very, very close. I got 3 pistols and a sniper rifle left, and I am done. But we're not here to talk about what guns I need. That's, you know, I will end up doing it anyway. But that's not what we're here for. We are here for question time. So let's see. I'm gonna be flanked. I am. Goodbye. Getting the headshots I need. Let's get that out of the way. Shouldn't go this way. I am. So, let's see what questions we have. Oh. Alright. Gold for the mission team's done. Kendrick, what is the worst free agent signing in NHL history? Okay. To be truly honest with you, I couldn't say. Here's the thing. Wow, I am getting headshots like crazy, which is good because I need them. I honestly don't pay that much attention to the free agency. Not because it isn't a big deal, but because, it's sort of like how I said last time, I don't pay much attention to the draft because I'm a Detroit fan. The Red Wings almost never pick anyone up in free agency. Wasn't even paying attention. They just don't tend to. So, like, I've historically not paid that much attention to free agency because it's like, well, my team's not going to be doing anything, so I just don't really look at it. So, off the top of my head, I'm not even sure what, like, the worst free agent pick ever is. Wow, that third guy should have killed me easily. I think the spawn probably flipped. That's what it seems like anyway. So yeah, I haven't really historically paid any attention to it. I'm sure there are some ridiculously awful ones out there. I just don't know necessarily what they are. But I mean, pretty much any time someone pays, like, a large sum of money to a guy that is, like, in his mid-30s, which I know happens, that I just deem as a bad choice in general. Like, I don't have, like, a specific one in mind, but I know that happens, and it's like, come on, guys, he's not gonna be, like, he's not gonna be able to play like he used to anymore. Like, you gotta realize that. Oh god, I ran right into that thing. Did not even realize it was an enemy, so I just sprinted at it. Pissed.
Enemy at Charlie.
Let's grab this with him.
Friendly drone support is active. Charlie secure. We're winning this fight.
Oh, I should have been able to kill that guy, but my aim just disappeared. This gun kicks really weird.
We're holding all points. Defend. Assist your team at C. You're leading at C.
Yeah.
This mission is a
So, yeah, I don't really know what the worst signing in history is. And I'm going to be honest, your next question I'm not going to know necessarily a whole lot better, but... Oh, yeah, look at this. Boom, triple kill with the pistol. Woohoo!
half-time.
Who did you hope your team grabbed this year? Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, I don't pay attention to it.
To capture the objective. Securing Charlie.
To be truly honest, I'm kind of glad. I mean, they might have picked up a few. I'm not 100% sure. I think they picked up.
Secure.
I don't know if they got any unrestricted. They've locked down a couple of the restricted guys, I think. But I'm honestly glad that the Red Wings didn't really go for any free agents this year. Because here's the thing: they're,
Providing close air support.
as much as I love them, the Red Wings are gonna be a team that's rebuilding. I know they are. They were in the playoffs 25 straight years. It's not like this wasn't coming at some point. So like I knew it was coming, and they're not gonna be a team that's competing in the next few years, I don't think. So at the end of the day, it's better that
Securing Bravo.
they didn't waste cap space, I think, on guys that aren't really gonna help them in that rebuild, because a lot of the big free agents were gonna be,
Losing Charlie.
you know, not necessarily guys out of their prime, but like older guys in general, and those aren't the guys that are gonna help a rebuild, really. They're gonna be gone by the time the rebuild is done. So I'd rather just have the cap space to hire whatever, to bring in more young guys that are gonna actually help with the rebuild process. Hey, that's my headshots done. That's good. Which means now I need 3 kill streaks with this, which kind of sucks that all the ones I got this game won't count, because I know I've done it 2 or 3 times already. God damn it. I tried to cancel the reload, and instead I wound up punching the air. So yeah, I don't, as far as I know, they didn't grab any free agents, at least not any unrestricted ones, and personally, I'm happy with that. I think that it would have been a mistake for Detroit to go for free agents, or at least to go for any of like the bigger ones.
You're needed at A.
I think it just would have been a mistake. So I'm pleased that they didn't do that.
Charlie secure. You're halfway there. Keep it up.
I mean, yeah, they could have afforded to go out and get like Yager or something, but like, why would I want them to? Like, he's not gonna help a rebuild in the next 5 years. He's just not. So
UAV ready.
goodbye. Oh, hello. Okay. Any good games on the PSN that are worth checking out? Buy COD and play with me. I'm kidding. I mean, you can. I'd love it, but I'm kidding.
Reported active.
Based on the wording, part of me wants to assume that you mean, like, PSN games as in, like, not AAA titles, but at the same time, that might not be the case. In general, even though it's kind of old at this point, I've always suggested people get Shadow of Mordor, because it's just an amazing game. Plus the new one's coming out soon, and I don't know if it's still going on. There was a huge
Assist your team at B.
sale going on PSN that had like the collector, not the collector's edition, but like the Game of the Year edition version of Shadow of Mordor for like really cheap. Like I think it was like $20 or something
Drone supported active.
for the game and all its DLC. I don't think that deal is still on, unfortunately, but it goes on sale a lot because it's an older game.
Winning this fight. Enemy has Alpha.
So that game is amazing. If you have a lot of people that you can play couch co-op with, I have a game called Undercooked that is really, really fun. It's just a little, like, I think it's the same developers as the guys who did Worms, if I'm not mistaken. It's just like a little indie title kind of thing. It's basically you have to like your kitchen staff. So it's sort of like, think like, you know, one of those mobile games of like, oh, you have to fulfill these orders and blah blah blah. Except it's like chaotic as fuck and it's all couch co-op.
Friendly drone support is active.
But the reason I say you need a lot of people to play it with is like I've got it and it's a fun game, but like for me and my wife to just play it, it gets really wow. I went 50 and 20 on our team. Well done, sir. I mean, I did well considering I was using a pistol, but yeah, for me and my wife just to play it, it's like it's so chaotic because it's built for having like 4 players. So when you only have 2, you just can't really keep up with everything, but it's a lot of fun. In the same vein, if you have people to play with, the Jackbox games, I have the first Jackbox party pack, and then they've released at least one other one since then. I don't remember if they've released a third or not. But that's a great game. What do I want to see? I need 5 more point blanks, and then a bunch of kills without dying, and I'm done with this piece of shit. I'm really gonna see what I'm missing. My thing, I might have just not updated my my calling card. So I'm missing that. I'm missing that. That's 2. 3. And then I think all I'm... Yeah, I'm only missing 3. I think I just didn't update my calling card, that's all. No, emblem. I keep saying calling card, but I mean emblem. I think I just didn't update this. So yeah, that's some stuff I've got off the top of my head. I've heard very good things about Firewatch. I've never played it, but I've heard good things about it. Yeah, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. But thank you for the questions, Kendrick. We're gonna move on here to Phil, who says hello. Hello, Phil. 10 years of VHL next week. What the fuck? That's nuts. Give me your favorite or one of your favorite memories from the site. Okay. I'll pick a few here, because, I mean, 10 years of the VHL, it's like, to pick one thing, like, I forgot to change the camo on the gun, the version I actually use. Oh, well. To pick one memory in 10 years, like, I can't do it. There's too much. Nope. Walked right into that guy. I should just stay behind cover. God damn it. Yeah, there's too many things, like, for me to pick just one. God, fuck me. I'm trying to get in there because it's like the only close quarter spot, but they're not really staying close. Should have gotten closer. I need point blank. That's why I was trying to get close to him, but I should have gotten closer. Oh well, got 3 kills. That's what I need.
Took my Yankee symbol. My brand new, or my,
UAV on standby.
Somebody's
gold
talking, and I can't mute him for some reason.
diamond earring, my fucking hoop earrings, my 14-karat gold hoop earrings.
He's talking about his fucking jewelry, I guess. I can't mute him. I think he can act on the other team, probably. Anyway, yeah, so, did I say anything yet? I don't think I did. Obviously, irregardless of what happened after, the biggest thing for me is always going to be getting, you know, drafted first ever in the VHL. Like, I got drafted ahead of Scotty. That's going to be a huge memory for me, regardless of everything that went bad after it. What else we got? Being a first ballot Hall of Famer with with Beketov, that was huge. I had never, like, I knew I played well with Beketov, but I had never really considered the Hall of Fame. I don't know why. I just never really considered it as something that was, god damn it, that was likely going to be, like, possible for me. So to get first ballot was really something. I shouldn't do this. Oh, damn, I was trying to get out of there. I knew that was dumb. I shouldn't have even gone there. And then, again, the Hall of Fame, again, to be inducted as a builder was big. Even just all the cups in general. Like, I don't even know how many I have. I don't remember. God fucking damn it, they're getting campy now. I don't even remember how many I've got. Like, I have one with most of my players.
Enemy bombardment incoming.
Unless I get one this season, Halik doesn't have one, Chekhov doesn't have one, and Christensen doesn't have one. But I think I've got at least
Take cover.
one cup with everybody else. Damn it. Don't make me waste my armor. I think I have at least one cup with everybody else, so I've got quite a few, and then I have 2 with Miller.
UAV ready.
Winning the Shaw with Halik was actually surprisingly big for me. I know I only got the 1, which kind of sucks. I only got the 1 because, like, it, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of rough for me because I know I have the stats that I should have been able to get more. Like, my stats the last 2 seasons were actually better than a lot of Shaw winning, like, stats in the past. It's just that DeGrath played so out of his mind the last 2 years that that I couldn't beat him. There was no beating that man. It's unfortunate for me, like, because I feel like I could have had at least 2 Shaws, but it was still great to get that 1. For me, it was like, I've made a lot of goalies. Like, Halik is my 4th goalie, and I've never had, until Halik, I had never had a Shaw, like, of any variety. It used to be called the what was it called? Trekiak? Something like that. And until Halik, I had never won one. And that was always one of my, like, my big things, is I wanted that top goalie award, and I never got it. So it was nice to win that with Halik. I mean, I could keep naming stuff pretty much all day. It's, at the end of the day, I've been here 10 years. It is a long time. I have done, fucking hell, I have done a lot of I've done a lot of stuff in my time in the VHL, so I really could name, like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but, like, I could sit here and name things for ages, like, because I've just, like, I don't know, I've enjoyed, obviously there's been some less than stellar moments, the suspension and all that, but, like, I have enjoyed 10 great years in this league, so I really couldn't pick just one memory. If anything, most of them are exceptionally good. I'm forgetting I've got this. Oh, god damn it. If he hadn't have gone in that, I had the jump on him easily. That would have been the 3rd. Oh, look, we're about to lose. Man. The flinch is real with this gun. That's what makes it so hard. Like, you need quite a few bullets to hit, and when if somebody shoots you, you flinch like mad. Alright, well. Still in positive, that's better than these guys at least. And I mean, I'm using a pistol, they're probably using a real gun, so. You have a wish list of 4 members you can bring back to activity. Who are they? Excuse me. Oh god, I've seen a lot of people come and go. I feel like I'm gonna sound like, you know, the old man of the league, but there's probably... Most of them are probably the guys that, like, were really around back in the day, so... McNeil for sure. I feel like he always kind of gets overlooked, but like I always got along really well with McNeil, so he is way up there for me. Slobo would be another one. Honestly, as sad as it is to say, I don't even know if the guy is still alive. I know Slobo was having a lot of health problems when he was around. I think it's some kind of cancer, pancreatic, I don't remember. So it's sad to say, but like I don't even know if he's still alive, but if he is, I would love to have him come back. Who else? Boule would be big. I honestly don't even remember what his username was. Was it Scooter? I don't remember his username was, but Boule would be great. I would love to have him back. I mean, in a way, almost anybody that's got a trophy named after them. Like, come on, these guys are the like are the old warriors of the league. It's. I think I've got probably a very skewed viewpoint on this one than everybody else. I'll get into that in a sec, though. I want to pick one more because you asked for 4. And if we're talking bringing somebody back to full activity, probably Scotty. I know him and McNeil. I brought them both back at one time or another in the past little while. And they just didn't, they didn't stick around. But both of them would be, I would love to have them back. Scotty just, I mean, he, like, the man, I don't want to say single-handedly built the league. He had a lot of help back in the day, obviously, but, he kind of revolutionized the way that a lot of positions are played just because, man, the freaking flinch is so bad. This map is way too big for me to be doing what I'm trying to do. Yeah, he knew the engine so much better than everybody else at the time that he really, like, a lot of our strategies for how to build a player really do come, really? Oh yeah, that thing can kill him 1 bullet to the head. That's like a lot of those strategies come from Scotty because he was the one who understood how, like, oh my god, I'm playing awful. This map might be too big to use a pistol on. Like, I don't know, but like in a way I wanted to get this thing gold while recording because, you know, I keep like getting close during the CoDCasts on guns and then finishing them after. But I don't know with this one. I might not be able to. Anyway, yeah, Scotty really revolutionized the way that a lot of positions are played because he knew he knew things about the engine that the rest of us just didn't know or didn't understand. So
Active vulture on hand.
So, like, just because of, like, how much he did for the league, it'd be really cool to see Scotty come back. So that's my 4. And I was gonna... what I was starting to get into there is I feel like I have kind of a very different viewpoint on it from most because I was around back then. So, like, I would want to see, like, those historically important members come back kind of thing. Like, I want the guys who really helped revolutionize the league instead of just, like, you know, oh, this guy was fun. Like, McNeil, for me, I don't think he really revolutionized much.
You're halfway there.
But
Keep it up.
I just got along with him so well that I would like to see him back. Yeah, I think it's interesting to look at, like, the difference between who someone like me or Kendrick or Sterling would bring back when we've been around this whole time versus, like, I feel like members who have not been around as long probably wouldn't be... They would pick different people, I would imagine, than we would. I don't know. I could be making that shit up at the top of my head. People might just be like, yeah, of course I would want, like, the old greats back. But I feel like you want the people you remember back is the big thing of it. And obviously those members that were around for the formation of the league are the guys that, like, that I remember. Those were the... I don't want to say those were the guys I grew up with, because that sounds really, really odd given the circumstances. But, like, that kind of is, like, how I feel about it. It's like it wound up being that, like, we were all so young when the league started that it's like it really does feel like I grew up with these guys, even though I didn't physically know any of them.
Friendly scanner active. UAV on standby.
So I don't know. It'd be a fun little activity to see, like, who do people want to see back based on, like, when they join, right? Because I feel like guys that joined in the last, you know,
Enemy USB.
10 seasons or so would have a very
Drone package.
different viewpoint on it than us old farts that have been around since the formation of the league.
Enemy Trinity rocket in use.
VHLM, VHLM, get rid of it or not. I'm actually gonna skip that one just for right now, and I will get back to it. That one's gonna it's gonna have a lot more discussion to it than your last question. So I want to get the last question, goddammit, out of the way first. Because your last one was, what influenced the name Sokolov for you? I've briefly mentioned this before. There's nothing really that influences the names for me. I've always been a person that I will just... I will pick what nationality I want my player to be, and then from there I'll choose the name that just sounds cool. So, like, generally speaking, obviously it does change because, like, Sokolov and Holik are both European, but normally what I'll do is I'll go Canadian, European, American, European, Canadian, and repeat. That's usually what I'll do. So even when it's a Canadian or American, I usually end up... I'm already at 10 and 20 on those. Need 3 more of those. Okay. I don't think I'll finish this on this because I don't have enough questions to talk that long. But it's close. Excuse me. Yeah, Sokolov, it just... I did the same thing I do every time. I said, okay, I want to be this nationality. Sokolov's Russian, I want to say. I don't even remember. I think he's Russian. And I basically just go and I Google what popular names are in the country I want to be from. And then I just pick 2 that I think sound interesting, but also somewhat work together. So it came out this time as Roman Sokolov. It doesn't mean anything. Nothing really influenced me. It was just sort of, I was looking through a list. I'm like, Roman, that sounds interesting enough. And then I just kept scrolling until something caught my eye that sounded like Sokolov wasn't the first thing that sounded good to me, because it's a combination of it has to sound good, but it has to work with whatever first name I chose too. So like there was a few that just they were cool names, but I wanted something that worked with the name I had already chosen. And I also don't want, which can be hard with the Europeans, I don't want a name that's like impossible to pronounce. So Devise, you're welcome, because I know you struggle with player names, so I try to pick names that are relatively easy to say. So yeah, it just wound up being that Roman Sokolov just kind of jumped out at me. It's nothing influenced it really. It was just, it sounded cool with the first name I liked, and it sounded cool in general. So that's how the name is born for me. Doesn't take a whole lot of planning or anything. So, VHLM, get rid of it or not. Up until recently, I was firmly in the keep it category. Now, the reason for that is not that I necessarily think that the VHLM is great or it's fun or it's anything. It's a boring development league that people don't like to be in. Let's be truly honest. We know what it is. I only need one more hit on that guy, but I didn't like that angle. If he's smart, he knows I'm coming. He's not paying attention, I guess. Unless that was a different guy, which it might have been. So yeah, I didn't... Can't manage to get my accuracy on point, so let's just punch you. Yeah, I was firmly in the camp of keep it just because... more so for the sake of the league than anything else. It was just sort of like, it makes us, as a whole, makes the VHL look bad to be dropping the development league. Not even that it's like, that it's a great league or anything, just that I feel like it would be sort of like an outcry to anybody potentially joining that, like, oh, we're in rough shape, we're literally dropping a league. And I mean, the other part of it was the age-old argument that, oh, well, players aren't gonna, like, new guys aren't gonna stick around if they're hopping into the VHL with 30 TPE and they're going up against guys with, like, that have 500 or 1,000. Like, they're not gonna stay. And that's been my argument on the matter since the discussion has come up, really. Recently, that changed. So, Devise, I think it was Devise, if you didn't see it, made a post regarding, like, why the VHLM needs to go away. And the main cusp of his argument that I agreed with is that we're actually, even though we say, like, oh, well, they're not gonna like going up against 500 TPE players, in a way we're pushing people away anyway, because they're coming in and seeing, they're coming into a league that even new guys realize is boring. They're seeing no locker room activity. They might be getting some personal stats, but, like, they're not playing in an active league, right? Like, it's not in a good place. If you come in to the VHLM and you play on, like, a really strong team, then sure, you'll probably enjoy yourself. But, like, barring that, assuming you don't have that really strong team, it's going to be a miserable experience for you. So we're probably actually turning members away by putting them into that league that no one cares about, including them. Because they're the biggest draw to the VHL
Enemy UAV.
really always has been the community aspect of it, and you're not getting that community because you're putting them on a team where they have no other players. Right? So it ends up being, I think, worse to keep it than it is to get rid of it. I still don't love the idea of getting rid of it just because of the fact that, you know, it does make us look like we're giving up, but the VHLM, as it stands, isn't working. It's just a league that is not functioning the way it's supposed to, and I think that it makes far more sense to just let guys have a little more starting TP. Maybe we could update the scale a little bit more again just to account for that. Maybe grandfather in the old players or something. Give them a little bit more to start with so that they don't get that, like, that shock when they get to the league and they can't, like, compete. But, like, let them be depth players. I think that even new guys would be more likely to enjoy the league and stick around if they were depth players on a solid team, or even a rebuilding team, rather than stuck on a VHLM team that no one in the league is paying attention to, that the locker room is empty, and it's just like, it wouldn't be fun, because it's not even fun. Like, if we think about it this way, the VHLM is not even fun for those of us who are already hooked on the VHL. So if we don't like it, how do we expect guys that haven't gotten that like addiction in a way to enjoy it? Like, if we hate it, they're gonna hate it too. Like, there's no reason for them to enjoy it. So that was the cusp of the argument made in there, and that is for the first time that I actually saw myself agreeing with that argument, that it needs to go. I think it has run its course. I think if we end up in a place where we have completely full teams and we're ready to, like, expand again, maybe we could rewrite the VHLM from the ground up to be something proper. But I think as it stands, it doesn't make sense to keep it. I think that in a time in the VHL's life where we're discussing potentially retracting VHL teams, it doesn't make sense to have a pool of players sitting in a league they don't care about. Right? Like, if we're at a point where we need to get rid of VHL teams, should we not just get rid of the VHLM and take those players and move them to the VHL, and then suddenly we have enough players to fill the teams, right? I think that makes far more sense. So it took me a long time to come to that conclusion, but I think I am at the point where I am in the get rid of the VHLM camp. I think I can safely say I've gotten to that point. All right, wound up 5 kills, 3 kill streaks off of that, 1 point blank off, but so didn't quite finish it. But that is going to be it for this episode of the CoDCast. I hope you enjoyed yourself if you listened. And as usual, go leave your questions. I'll bug you when you don't. And yeah, as always, this has been Beketov, and I will see you next time.